First, can you kind of describe what the RFP will be for the South Riverfront area?
Sure, we've been discussing, just putting together future planning processes for next steps on the riverfront. Last year, we worked with the University of Wisconsin at Madison School of Planning for a vision on the North Riverfront area, the area north of Bridge Street. And obviously we've been implementing the plan that we completed for the East Riverfront, and so it seemed logical to discuss future steps on what we're calling the South Riverfront area. This would be, kind of the quadrant of the city south of Washington Street along River Drive. There's a series of parcels and properties. Some are owned by the city, some are owned by private owners, some are owned by WPS, some are owned by the county, that all have, that might have redevelopment potential in the future. So we'd like to examine those and, kind of look at, if there were options, what would be the highest and best use, what market potential would be there, how can we maximize, assets like the farmers market and the whitewater course and other features that we're so proud of in the city, to improve in the future as well.
And you mentioned that there are already some parcels on that area that are in use and kind of some city favorites. Can you kind of explain some of the concerns members of the committee had about the development plan with those areas?
Sure. Well, I think some of the parcels are brownfield sites that do have some environmental restrictions on them, and so obviously any plan would need to be thoughtful about how those parcels could be reused and what types of uses are appropriate or what type of construction would be required if they were to be redeveloped in certain ways. And then I think folks just want to see the assets of the area improve and magnified, which we expect we do. The River's Edge Trail is an important asset, the kayak course, the kind of other features in the area.
And since it is a planning RFP, what sort of businesses and organizations do you expect to get plans from?
Sure. So usually we receive proposals from architecture, civil engineering, and urban planning consulting firms, who then undertake the project on behalf of the city and behalf of the stakeholders too. We will have a steering committee that will involve, many of the stakeholders in that area, like WPS and the county and other entities, to ensure that the plan is realistic for what they're proposing, and that it has some kind of basis in the opportunities.
And since this is just a planning RFP, there won't be any near future work on this area, correct?
No. I think the goal is to see, a short-term, midterm, and long-term vision potentials, and so we do plans obviously all the time. We're updating the River's Edge plan right now. We just completed a mall plan, right? So, and the planning process in our department really is just to kind of set the stage for development, set a foundation for what expectations could exist, help prime the market, for some of the opportunities that might exist on these parcels. It was very successful in some of the other plans that the city has implemented over the years. The East Riverfront plan, for example, set in motion, all of the different pieces that we're now seeing come to fruition, the park and the public improvements and the obviously continued investment in the area. So we think that the South Riverfront also has certain attributes. They're different and somewhat unique. Like we said, there are different public amenities there that make them special, and so this planning process, will analyze those and allow us to have like a good idea about what potential might exist, and that might be years away, or it might be sooner than later, depending on what steps could take place.
And then since the RFP was approved, when do you plan to open it, and how long do you think you'll be receiving proposals
Sure.
for?
I think we'll issue the RFP fairly soon. Traditionally, our RFPs are open, for a month or two, to allow firms to craft a proposal, and then we receive those proposals and we review them. Just as an example, the River's Edge Trail plan update last year. It was open for about a month. It received 7 proposals, I believe, from different firms. And in that case, the city chose Grafe, a large planning firm in Wisconsin, who is working on updating the River's Edge Master Plan right now, and the results of that update will come, obviously to the committee, and it will go through a public process. There'll be interviews with stakeholders, there'll be public meetings, and all of those things that you would expect from any kind of public urban planning process, to be undertaken. And so whatever consultant is chosen, will lead that in collaboration with our staff.
And then the only other thing, there was an update on the Wausau Center Mall. Can you share what that was?
Was there an update? What was
Didn't you say the rent was paid?
Oh, well, just that, we had received payment of the percentage basis rent, which was owed, to the city, and that required an audit and some steps that they, needed to undertake. They have completed that, and that's basically it. It's part of the process of them complying with the lease agreement.
And is there anything else you'd like to add about anything tonight?
I don't think so. Thanks.